What's up, Believe Nation? Time for another hangout. Super excited to be here. I have a new friend joining me, Marci. She has a Facebook program where she has coffee. She's got this branded mug. I'm sure you're going to see it. It's awesome. Coffee with Marci, a show about social media, show about entrepreneurship, and she wanted to interview me for her show. She has her coffee. I have my coffee. We're talking social media do's and don'ts. Marci.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, quick introduction maybe for the audience, and then get into it. Whatever questions you have for me, let's do it.
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Marci Hopkins. I'm the host of Coffee with Marci, a social media talk show. My mission is to bring entrepreneurs and nonprofits a voice. And I am so excited to hear your voice, Evan.
I love it. We both have our coffee, and let's do it.
Right.
What do you got for me?
Ready
Questions?
to go. So really what I want to ask, I have several questions I want to ask, but for the small business owner, what social platforms would you recommend for them to be on?
Ooh, so I guess you need a little more context. I would say, one, think about what you're really good at and what you enjoy doing, what you want to be best in the world at. So for me, I prefer video over other platforms just because I'm a visual person. I'd much rather talk than write. So anything video works well for me. You guys, if you know my name, it's probably from YouTube. It's where I had my kind of breakthrough moment. Luckily, other platforms are now getting into video, so I can be there as well. But Medium is not the best place for me because you got to do a lot of written stuff. So one, identify where your skills are at and where you think you can win because you're just naturally good at it and want to get better. And two, think about where your audience is. If you're looking at YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, your audiences are going to be there for the most part. But if you're targeting a specific group, then there's different platforms that may be better for you. If you want to target younger people, maybe you're on Musical.ly or maybe you're on Snapchat. If you're targeting business people, you're going to go to LinkedIn. You're targeting women, you might go to Pinterest, right? So depending on what audience you want to be going after, like entrepreneurship and marketing 101 is you want to be where your customers are. So wherever your customers are hanging out, combine that with what your talents are, then that's where you should really dominate. And so for me, YouTube is my favorite place to hang out because there's lots of entrepreneurs there and it's video, which I prefer the most.
Yeah, wonderful. So, well, what kind of, if an entrepreneur, let's say, is on Facebook, okay, and what type of branding should the entrepreneur have? Like, what is important? Should they have a business page? What's the profile picture? What are they wanting to get out to the audience?
I think you want to make it easy for people to talk about you. So you need to have a clear message. I'm a big believer in finding out the one word, the most important core value that you stand for and letting that exude from everything you do. So for me, it's believe. When you find out what your most important core value is and wrote a book about it, then you can start to think about, okay, I want people to think about what the feeling is you want people to have when they come and visit your Facebook page. When they visit your page, not just the content they're going to get, how do you want to make that person feel? So if your one word is happy, okay, you want them to feel happy, great. What does happy look like? So what does a happy logo look like to you? What does a happy cover art look like to you? What does a happy post look like to you? So combine that with putting work into the content so that it's something that you're really proud of. A lot of people post promotional stuff and really just getting content out there, but it's not very good. I want to make something that my grandkids will be proud to watch. I want to make content that I want to show future generations. I want to show my grandkids this interview with Marci. That's what I want to do, right?
I hope you do.
You got to be proud of the work that you are putting out and creating every day. And so that combination of understanding what your core value is and what the feeling is that you want people to get when they come to your page, combined with making sure that everything that you create, you're proud of. And that bar changes, right? Like your skills and your abilities will grow. Your ability to make a good post or a good video will grow. I'm sure the first Coffee with Marci isn't as good as it is now, right? Like you come up.
Right, you grow and evolve every day.
Exactly. So like you got the branding now with the cup and the technology, you figured it out. There's a flow and this is a great episode and like where you'll be at a year will be even better and greater skills. And so being proud of everything that you create now with the skills and abilities that you have, which will always continue to grow. So I think that's really important on Facebook. I think Facebook specifically, though, is also becoming much more of a paid platform. And so don't get bummed out if you don't get a ton of organic reach immediately from your followers. And so I'd be thinking, do you have a path to monetize Facebook? Are you selling a product? Are you selling a service? Are you trying to increase awareness for off-site conversions? Like, what is your main goal? If you have a way to monetize and a way to advertise, Facebook is going to be your best platform to do it, because you can get so granular and specific. Like if you knew that, so say your goal was to sell those mugs.
Yeah.
I want to sell happy mugs that make me, every time I put coffee and drink from there, I feel like I'm a champion. You know, so that's your business model. I want to sell mugs. Great. You know, who's your target demographic? If you're looking at women from a certain age group and a certain geographic location who also like people who watch Coffee with Marci also watch Oprah or Ellen or, you know, whatever it is, whatever habits that they have.
It's got to be Ellen, Evan. No.
Okay. I love Ellen. I love Oprah too, though. I love Oprah, but Ellen's great. Ellen's an introvert, which is super surprising. So Ellen, so you could target, you can target people who like Ellen, who are women, who are in this age demo, who live in these states, and pitch them your show or pitch them your coffee mug. And if you're looking at advertising, Facebook is the best way to reach people, the most cost-effective way to reach a certain demographic. But if you don't have a way to monetize it, then you're spending money just for branding and awareness, which is hard for an entrepreneur getting started. So just from an organic reach place, you know, Facebook is not my favorite place to be because it's so much of a paid platform. But if you know you have a path to monetize, then Facebook is the best place to be.
Okay. And as far as like how many times you post, like for me, and for instance, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two places that I mostly promote Coffee with Marci. And I feel like I'm putting myself out there a lot, but sometimes I feel like this may be annoying. So, you know, how often are you putting yourself out there? If you have, you know, a promotion going on for crunchy makeup or something, like what do you do? What don't you do?
So there's always room for quality. People's funnel, is huge. Like the amount of content that they can take in is huge. And I would much rather cannibalize myself than have somebody else fill up that attention feed. But is it good enough quantity? Is it good enough quality? Like, is it moving people? Is everything that you're making? So if you can make one great piece of content a day, that's awesome. Can you make 2 pieces of content that's great, that you're proud of, that you want to show your grandkids? Or that second piece of content is, you know, not that great? That starts to make the difference. On YouTube, as an example, I saw a huge jump in moving from once a week to once a day. And then another jump from once a day to twice a day. And then now I'm at 3 times a day making videos, 3 times a day with 4,000 videos. Not as huge a jump in the algorithm. We're still getting the benefit, but not as big as the other one. So if you want to optimize for the YouTube algorithm, you want to be posting twice a day. It's an ideal spot to be in right now with everything that's going on. Facebook for video, I don't do enough to be able to tell you this is how often to post video content on Facebook. But in general, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, you could be posting more often than once a day if it's good.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah, if it's good. So I would be experimenting and just see, like, you need to start to get to know the numbers in your business and understand what's working and what's not. So when I started pushing the envelope with YouTube and how many videos we're putting out, we saw that, okay, at 3 a day, we're not really getting the same increase in subscribers and growth that I was getting from the hop to once a day and the hop to twice a day. So it's not worth scaling why not go 10 times a day? Well, it's not worth scaling my team because we're not getting the incremental results anymore. So it's testing. If you're doing, like, how often are you doing your show right now?
I'm doing it 3 times a week.
Yeah, so you could definitely go to once a day. Definitely go to once a day. I mean, it's getting guests though too, right? How do I get enough guests to come on to do a once-a-day show?
I put myself out there a lot, and what's interesting, I'll have people call me and they saw a clip on Instagram. So I put like a minute of my show on Instagram every time I have a show.
Yeah, and you could be doing more than 1 minute. So you could do the 1 minute a couple times a day of clips of your show, and you could be doing your story behind the scenes on Instagram and say, hey, about to go speak with Evan. Here we go. If you guys have questions, let me know. And then afterwards, here's my biggest takeaway. Yeah. Document. I'd be looking at least 3 times a day on your story, documenting your journey, what you're doing, more personal. People that ask you questions, that engagement levels is super high. And if you're doing it on Instagram, you could go to Snapchat and do it there as well. Yeah, you could get some good results on Snapchat. Some people post to both. Like you can record it on one, save it, and upload it to the other one to minimize your efforts. The length is a little bit different between Snapchat and Instagram, so just something to play with. Snapchat's a little bit shorter. So I'll often record on Snapchat, download it, and upload it to Instagram. And the filters are more fun on Snapchat anyway. But I would be looking at, okay, as a next step, how do I move the Coffee with Marci show to a daily show? What do I need to do to get it there? And then I'd be looking at how can I add a second piece of content during the day that is a quote of the day with Marci, or you're vlogging something quickly, or part of your morning routine, or gratitude with Marci, or like whatever it is that makes you you. Yeah. Incorporating that as a test to see, maybe morning gratitude with Marci, if that's part of what you do as your morning routine, and you share 3 things you're grateful for, maybe that is something that helps you lift, or maybe that's forced and doesn't feel good. Maybe as you're making your coffee, you have a thought of the day. Here I am making my coffee, right? Quote of the day.
I do that on Facebook, coffee quote of the day.
Great. And you record that as a video?
Thought.
You record that as a video?
No, I don't do it a video. I do text. Video
right.
better?
Okay. So, well, yeah, if you want to build a personal brand, right? Like make it a video. Press record on your iPhone or, whatever phone you're using, right? And say like, I'm making my whatever coffee, and today's quote is, ba, 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 ba. Here's why it's important. And send.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because I do these interviews with these entrepreneurs, and they really know nothing about social media, which is why I want to get this out to them, how important it is. So they do the interview with me. They then have this marketing tool. They don't know what to do with it. Half of them don't have a business page. Half of them are saying, it may take too much time, or I don't know how to do it. But I want to express to them how important it is that they have to get themselves out there. And also on a personal level, people need to know who they are, so they want to buy their products, get in their shop, get in their store, whatever it is.
Yeah. So if I was advising somebody's social media campaign, I would look at a couple things. I would look at one, do I have a product or service to sell already? Like, am I already in business and this is add-on for me to generate more awareness? If I'm selling landscaping services, or if I'm selling balloons, or I'm a consultant or whatever, it's not like, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm just trying to build a personal brand. If you have a product and you're already in business, I would go right to Facebook and right to advertising. I wouldn't even worry about creating my own content yet. Just jump right to Facebook advertising with dark posts, so they're hidden posts, so don't go to your page, but people can see them, and experiment, because it's the single best ad platform that you can get. There's a tool called Ad Espresso, which fits because it's coffee.
I love it.
Ad Espresso will help you manage your Facebook campaigns, and you put in different demographics. So you can say, okay, men versus women, Nebraska versus Ohio, 25 to 30 versus 30 to 35, one headline against another, picture versus picture, like whatever, Ellen versus Oprah, whatever metrics you want to compare, and it'll automatically pick the winners for you and put more of your budget into those and pull away from the ones that aren't performing as well. So if you have a current business and you're currently making some money, it doesn't be huge money, but you're making some money, it's going to be your best spot. That's where I would start on social media before I start worrying about building a brand. I would get my accounts on all of the platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, just get the names. Just one, to secure the names. Your name may already be taken, right? But try to get your name just in case. It's the same as getting the domain name. You want to secure your name on all these platforms. Even if you never are going to go on Twitter, to own Coffee with Marci on Twitter so nobody else takes it is just good to have. I would then start paying attention. Who is talking about me here? I thought Twitter was stupid at the beginning. People talking about their cats and their food and all this stuff. But people were actually talking about me and what I was making, the content, and I wasn't a part of the conversation.
How did you find out that they were talking about you?
I went to Twitter search, I typed in Evan Carmichael, and I saw that people were talking about me.
Okay.
So if you know your customers are there talking about you, you want to be in that community. It makes sense, right? So go to YouTube, go to Twitter, go to Instagram, like search, and does your name pop up anywhere? Your company name, your name. You know, if it is, then the higher leverage at the start is not building your own platform, it's leveraging other people's platforms. So if there's 20 people who talked about me on Twitter, and I just write back to them and I say, hey, thank you so much for mentioning me on Twitter, I really appreciate it. Then they're more likely to do it again. And they already have followers. I'm trying to build up mine from scratch, but they already have followers. So if I can empower the people who already have a platform to talk more about my business, that's really helpful. So before jumping in on a platform, I would recommend just getting the accounts and listening.
Okay.
Where are people talking about me? And can I just support them and say thank you, right? Then I would start to look at, okay, here are the social media places where I feel lines up the most with my audience. I'm gonna start creating content. Like the creating content is the hardest, longest part of all of this. So if, again, you have a path to making money, Facebook ads right away, it's a no-brainer, easiest thing to do. Second, start involving the influencers who are already talking about your business. And then third, start building up your own platform and your own traffic and your own audience. But that's the longest, hardest piece. That's like multi-years to get it really fired and going. And
I think people think that that's supposed to happen really quickly. So it's better to work with an influencer, get somebody talking about you, and then worry about the numbers later. Is that correct as far as followers?
For sure. Like if you're, you don't necessarily even need to build your brand. So many people focus on the brand building and the content, which is definitely helpful, but it's not the only path. Especially if you're selling a local business, a local service. You know, if you sell, you know, coffee mugs to your local community, or you sell Girl Guide cookies, or whatever it is that you're selling, if it's a local business, you can go and look at who's talking about. You go to Instagram and search local for your city, and you can see what the most common or the most popular posts are, and you can write to that person and say, hey, Susie, I love that post you made about that bridge in St. Louis. That's great. I'm in St. Louis too. I sell Girl Guide cookies. I'd love to connect. So, you know, you're doing outreach to them. And if you can get Susie to promote your business and she has 1 million followers, it's so much faster of an ROI than worrying about you creating your own Instagram following. Right? So like ideally it's both parallel paths, but whenever I'm introducing a new concept to an entrepreneur, I want them to get results as soon as possible because their time is limited, their budgets are limited, and you want to show that it works, and then you can invest more and more time. Launching into a full-blown social media campaign with somebody who does no social media is, for most people, too much work, so they're going to do nothing. It's like, keep doing this every day, post 2 videos every day for 3 years, and you'll take off. It's like, I don't want to do all that work. That's crazy. Well, so finding easier ways to get started.
So how much time do we have left? I know that you are only have so much.
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay, we have some time. So there's a couple of things. So you mentioned the story on Instagram and Facebook. They've started the story at the top. So I guess that's kind of a personal level, get to know you on a personal level. Is that what that is? Would an entrepreneur even want to do that?
Yes, that's how you win as an entrepreneur. Like your story is how you're going to win as an entrepreneur. Why am I going to buy from you instead of going to a big company that has years of reputation and history and, you know, all these big name clients buying from them? Why am I going to buy from you, the entrepreneur? Unless you're the cheapest option, which you never want to be as an entrepreneur, right? You don't want to compete on price. I'm going to buy from you because you care, because you started this business with a lot of love, because I'm not just going to be a number when I work with you, because I feel like if I hire you to come and cut my grass, like you care about cutting grass, and I'm not hiring some kid who works for some big company and they're not going to really care. So how do you if your business plan is let me look like a big company, you're going to fail because you don't have the reputation or the history. You win on your story and your authenticity. So big companies can't do that. Who knows who the CEO of American Express is, and like, why do I care about his or her story? It doesn't matter. So like, that's how you win. So getting personal, telling me the stories of why you started this business, making it emotional, showing me how much you care about that grass that you're cutting. Like, I want to hire the guy or girl who's obsessed with grass, like obsessed with cutting the grass into the perfect length and like no bugs or weed. Like, that weed bothers me. I need to pull it out. Holy cow, that weed, right? Like, that's who I want to hire. No big company is going to care to that level of detail as you will as an entrepreneur. So you show me that by documenting it on a daily basis. Right.
Yeah. Because, well, that's one of the reasons I started what I'm doing, because I wanted people to get to know in the community the entrepreneur, who they're going to be working with. Because so many of us drive by stores multiple times, or people are putting out advertisements, but we don't really know who they are. And once they see who they are, then they want to do business with them. Yeah. So another thing that I would ask then, so let's say they start their Facebook page, the advertising, all of your advice has been amazing, but should they do a video about themselves and say, this is who I am, this is how I started my business and why, my mission, why this is important to me?
Yeah, I think the single most important video you can make is your story, why you started this. And at the beginning, it's really nerve-wracking because you're talking to a camera instead of a human being, and you're scared. So it may take a couple versions to do. I wouldn't just put it on Facebook, though. I think the highest leverage of that video is on your website, because people are going to go to your website, check out what you're about, and I want either on your homepage or on your about page your story. And I want you to passionately tell me why you started this. And maybe you need somebody else. Like, maybe you alone talking to a camera is going to be boring and stale. Maybe you need to have a customer come in, or your daughter come in, or your friend come in and say like, hey, Julia, why did you start this business? Why is it important to you? And then you go off and tell your story, and it's just being recorded. And you don't need to have a high-end camera or videographer. You know, just your iPhone is great. Make sure you're facing a window so that the light is on your face. And, and go. Like, if you are in landscaping, they don't expect you to have a fantastic video, right? Like, it's much more about the authenticity of you. There's been so many, how many corporate videos have you seen from these big companies that they spend tons of budget on and it doesn't hit? Like, I don't believe your message. I don't believe you actually care about me. Where if you showed you and the passion coming out, it's the most important thing. So if you're making a video, like one video, that's the video that you make. That's where you start. And you post that. I think the highest leverage is going to be off your website, but you could definitely post it to your YouTube and Instagram, and if it's short enough, and to your Facebook page too.
Well, so if you're driving people to your website, are you using social media to do that?
Yeah, if you have a model for it, like you can potentially sell inside of Facebook. Again, just depends on what the product is. A lot of times people want to learn more, and so they want to check out your website to learn more about what you're doing. So, you know, if they're not ready for an instant buy through Facebook, then they'll go to your website, and then that's your job to convince them that you're the person to go with. And so a really solid video. Like Facebook, a lot of the stuff dies quickly. Yeah. Where your website, and it's part of why I'm on YouTube, because YouTube content lives forever. Where Facebook, you get a like instant hit and then it's gone. And I want the work that I make to live forever. I'm proud of the work that I make, and I want it to last generations, right? And so like YouTube is the best spot for that right now. So that's where I'm at.
But so say someone does a video with me, I encourage them to continue to post. Just because it goes up one time or several times throughout 2 days, it's going to be lost. So I encourage them to continue to post about it, or post the video, or make short content, you know, short videos out of our interview.
Yeah, I think breaking up the interview into little micro clips would have a better result than just posting the same thing over and over again, because you're also you want to be building an audience that looks forward to your content. So if I like, okay, I can't wait for Marci's next like I learned so much from Marci. All her guests are amazing. Man, when's the next coffee? She's going daily is awesome. Like every day I'm gonna wait for that. If you posted the same thing, no matter how great I might be on an interview, like I don't want to see Evan Carmichael 5 times the same interview posted, right?
Well,
So
I guess my thought process on that was people, it gets lost so quickly. So let's say you hit 1,000 people, 1,000 views, and then you post it in a couple of weeks again, you're going to be reaching different people. And
yeah, I just worry that like you're training people to not want to look forward to every piece of content.
okay.
So like the next time it comes up, you're like, oh, Marci's doing it. Oh, I've seen that one. Okay. So I want people to look forward and love every piece of content that I'm making. So if it's a clip, it's okay. But if it's like the same thing that you post 5 times, I think you're training people. I mean, it's a model, it could work, but I don't think if you want to build a loyal audience of people who look forward to your content, it's going to be counterproductive.
But if you're a business and it's about you and your business, and somebody is coming to your business page, that could just live there and stay at the top, even if they don't do a video about themselves.
Yeah, the video could stay at the top, or you could pin it and it stays at the top. It's the most important thing to watch. But if you had a business page and you just kept every 5 days posting it as a new video again, people are going to unsubscribe from your updates because you're not giving them value.
How about hashtags?
It depends on the platform. If you're in Instagram, it's super important. That's how you get discovered, is by having great hashtags, knowing what's important to your industry, and in posting those hashtags out with content. Twitter, it's there. Facebook, it's there. YouTube has tags. It's there. I think you can also hashtag in the description. It's just not part of the culture as much in YouTube as it is in Instagram. So understanding the platform that you're in and playing to those strengths is important.
So if I were to want to move from Facebook, how would I make YouTube work for me?
I don't know that you need to move. I would look at doing both. If you're recording live, I'd look at how do I, save the video, upload it. I would start posting videos on my YouTube channel and pay attention to your titles, right? I'd start to try to work with people who maybe, like, I'm probably more well-known in the YouTube world than in the Facebook world. So I try to reach out to YouTubers and do collaborations with them to say, oh, Evan's on this channel. Cool. What's this new channel about? Or this person's on this channel, right? So when people are searching for my name, your thing might come up. And so it's a way to get more audience. And so I'd be trying to connect with YouTubers to have them on as guests. Right. And then just create your content schedule. If you're doing daily content, you can go live from your phone to YouTube as well. But I would mix that.
I saw that.
Yeah, the thing with YouTube is the live algorithm is different than the regular algorithm. So I would play around with it. What happens with live, and on Facebook too, like live you get the instant hit. Yeah. But the video doesn't last as long. So like we'll get people watching. We got people watching this video live right now. But the video doesn't pick up in the algorithm as much down the road because it's live. So you'll get, depends on what your goal is. If you have a launch, if you want to get immediate attention for something, live is the fastest way to do it. If you want to build up an ongoing kind of loyal following and get your video ranked and live forever, then recording it, if you're using Zoom or something else, and then saving it and uploading it to your channel will give you the highest impact now, because YouTube has 2 different algorithms. They may change that. It's part of being in the game. When you're in it, you understand it, you figure out the rules, and you adapt. You can still win, but you're going on the side roads instead of taking the highway.
Right. So to just kind of like wrap this up, yesterday I got a call, and it was a company that had just launched. It's the same type of company as 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Okay. And so now they've built the company, right? They've opened their doors, and now they're trying to figure out how to get their name out there. So why would somebody go to them versus 1-800-GOT-JUNK? Yes, they're a little less expensive, but you can trust, this other large company that's established itself. So what's the best way for a company like that they're launching all the time in communities all over? How can they start to best get their name out there and start that growing?
I would first understand what's the differentiator between them and 1-800-GOT-JUNK besides the price. So what's their one word? What's their value? What's the experience that I'm going to get that's different? You know, like, is it, you know, maybe 1-800-GOT-JUNK is all guys, and that can be intimidating for women to have these guys show up. And so here is all women who show up, and they have, you know, a pink truck, or, you know, like whatever. Like, what is it that's different? Because if it's just a 1-800-GOT-JUNK clone, you're gonna have a problem. If you're a junior of anybody else, it's always gonna be a problem. So what is different about this company? And then leverage that story for people who don't like 1-800-GOT-JUNK because of XYZ. So understanding what that is, then you can create a Facebook campaign, an advertising campaign around it. I wouldn't even worry about posting content yet. An ad campaign, because it's local. So you can say, in this area, like 10 miles from this location is what we can service, so 25 miles or 100, however they're willing to go. And then you can target those people. If you know who you're going after, if you're going after young professionals, or you're going after seniors, or you're going after like whoever it is, and you can have different ads. So don't show me the young married couple and target a senior citizen with it. Right? Show me the, you know, senior citizen, and have a landing page or ad copy that talks about downsizing your house and getting rid of all your crap. Right? And so people who are in their seniors, like, they go to that, they see that ad, they go to that page, and they're going to convert much better. Where if it's like talking about starting a family, you know, or getting rid of the baby stuff or something, it's like, this is not relevant to me. So the more clear they can get on who their customer is, you can target specifically on Facebook. And again, what is the messaging that's going to hit in comparison to the brand that I know, 1-800-GOT-JUNK. I would also go to Instagram, and in all my markets, look at who are the biggest influencers who are posting and getting traction and results, and offering to do something with them. Like, hey, like, reach out to all of them individually, do it through the phone, and say, hey, next time you have something to throw away or move, like, give them a free service. Like, if they'll talk about it, right? Like, hey, I want to come and clean out your stuff. Next time you have anything, let me know. We'll be there in 20 minutes or however long it takes them to get there. We'd love if you could talk about us in return. And most people will ignore you, and most people will either say no or just ignore you. And it's just follow up. Follow up. Because if one of those people hits, then they're one of the most popular influencers in your geographic area, and that message will spread. So those two things I would start, and neither of them have to do with actually creating content. Right. Longer tail could be, okay, we're going to create content. First piece is going to be a video about ourselves and why we're different and our value proposition and all that. Then we're going to start posting to the social media networks, whether it's a YouTube channel or, you know, tweets or, you know, Instagram or whatever it is. But they'll get the highest return off of Facebook ads and the Instagram influencers right now, at least.
And do you think when they continue to put up ads that people kind of just start tuning them out?
I just had a sip of my coffee here. Coffee with Marci. You gotta have my coffee.
I want you drinking your coffee when you're with me, please.
Coffee and Marci, it's both. It's like any other ads, right? Like, you got to see an ad a certain number of times. It's got to hit them at the right point. You know, if they see it 6 months later, maybe now I'm ready to move. Like this kind of thing. I mean, I have trash and I'm in spring cleaning mode, right? You can, with a company like that may be seasonal, you can adjust the messaging. So like, spring cleaning is coming up. Hey, spring message. Here's your thing. Go, right? You could target local. Like, this works really well local. There's local events happening, local holidays, local parties, local themes. Like, clean up after our, you know, the Eagles just won the Super Bowl and we're in Philadelphia, and so like, clean up your Super Bowl party mess with us, right? That kind of specificity. Whatever's happening in your own local area, and you know, because you're there, like, they're operating there, so they know what's happening in their local markets. And so, like, whatever the stats are, you need to see an ad 8 times or 10 times before it resonates with you. It's not going to be something that, you know, as long as it's not offensive, you know, like, I look at it and, wow, that's just, you know, really offensive, unless that is their branding. Like, we are the offensive cleaners, like we will come and yell at you and tell you how messy you are. Like if that's the branding,
Right.
there's a market for that, right? Like I need a drill sergeant to get me organized. Okay, that's what we do.
Then we fit.
You know, like you suck. Like that's your commercial. You know, so you need, the great thing of it, you can test. So if it's that kind of company, you can't go right to a sale, because a sale is probably going to happen on the phone. But if it happens, if you get web sales, you can track all the way to conversion. Like you get a little pixel, you put it on your conversion page, whether it's actually like e-commerce where there's like, okay, for $100 we will come out and you collect their money. Or if it's just a conversion page of like phone number, so like they click this form and they get your phone number or whatever that is. As far along in the process, so you know, okay, this ad leads to this many leads or this much revenue, you can track it. And then the ones that are working, and Ad Espresso helps you fine tune all that if you're not a data genius.
Espresso always works.
Yeah, it's a good, I should invest in that company or something, because I recommend it a lot. But yeah, it's I wouldn't worry about, if it's working, if it's generating results, if you're getting leads, I wouldn't worry about there'll be a percentage of people who click off the ad, who say, I don't want any more from this company. Like it's going to happen for any kind of ads. Most people will just ignore it. And some people, you'll just hit them at the right time and it's going to work.
And what would be your big don't? Do not do this. You're going to turn off everybody, whatever.
I don't know, not even worry about that. Like, I think people get too caught up on the don'ts and then they don't do anything. Don't do nothing. That's the don't.
Don't do nothing. I like that one.
Don't sit on your hands is the don't.
Okay.
Everything else is fair game, and try and see.
And
right?
I want to just hear really quickly, I want to hear about your book, Your One Word. So,
yeah, so you know, I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs and people in general feel like they have more potential inside them. They feel like they could be doing more with their life and their business, but they don't know what it is. They know they have a higher gear in them, but they don't know how to maintain it consistently. It doesn't mean that your life sucks. It just means like there's another gear. Like I know I have greater purpose in what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And for me, it starts with self-awareness, understanding what it is that you are about, what your most important core value is. That boils down to your one word. Figure out what your most important core value is, and then you can build a life and build a business around it to start attracting those people and bringing them into your life instead of having it be like random occurrences. So if you think about your favorite movie and your favorite teacher and what you loved about your parents, like all of these things have happened to you, the greatest highs in your life, there's a consistent theme throughout them. And if you can figure that out, then you can plan for that to happen more often to you in the future instead of randomly stumbling upon things. And so the practical application becomes, we're making a Facebook campaign. Okay, great.
Right.
What's the feeling that I want people to feel? It's not just something that you randomly pull. It's got to come authentically from inside you. For me, it's believe, right? Like, again, in this conversation, I want people to believe. It should ooze out of what I'm doing. Every video I make, the content I put out, if you don't feel believed, then I did something wrong, right? I got to get better at it. So when you understand what your one word is, it impacts every decision that you make. You know, if your one word is calm and you're starting the flower shop, then okay, how do I make people feel calm? What's our sign? What's our logo look like to make people feel calm?
Yeah.
How are the flower arranged inside the store to make me feel calm? Is it like chaos, flowers everywhere, or like they nicely arranged? And how am I greeted when I walk in the store? What's the smell? What music is playing? What's the experience to get on my website, right? When you have that clear vision of here's what we're trying to build, the garage or the 1-800-GOT-JUNK competitors, what's their one word? Like if theirs is about calm, then it has an impact on everything they do. Like I should feel calm when I visit your Facebook page, and I should not be rushed when, like, how am I greeted by the people who come and get off the truck, right? Like, what are they wearing? Are they giving me something? You know, do you book them off to go on a massage while I'm cleaning out your condo, or like, you know, there's options, right? So and it has to be a value that you believe in. Like calm is fine for me, but it's not something I get excited about. Right. I'm agitated by untapped potential. You know, when I see potential in somebody, I believe in them, and I want to see that that thing happen for them. And so believe is more my thing. And if you hate believe, you're going to hate all of the things that I put out. You're going to hate my content. It's going to be too much and you'll go somewhere else, and that's okay. But I made it easy for people to find me who do like the thing that I'm about. And that's what it's about. It's about attracting the people, the customers, the media, the investors, and people in your life who share the same value as you do, so you can go off and build amazing things. So I wrote a book about it. It's my story. It's 5 businesses that went from 50,000, 500,000, a million, 5 million, and 150 million around their one word. So it's kind of the blueprint on how to do it.
Wow. It's unbelievable, Evan. You have quite a story, that is for sure. We could all learn from you. And that's why I'm so thankful that you were on the show today. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Well, I'm glad we figured it out. And I appreciate the time too, Marci. And good luck. And I'm excited to see where you take your Facebook show and new YouTube channel as well.
I know. I've started one. Now I just got to grow it.
We gotta cheers at the end, right? Cheers to coffee.
Cheers. That's right. Bye, Evan. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marci.
Okay.